reason and one reason only, and that is the money. He's getting paid so much money to do this. So that tells me he's getting bought. So again, it is sad that someone like Mike Tyson can get bought.
The fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul was one of the most talked about boxing events of the year, but it didn't quite live up to the hype. But as the fight unfolded, many were left wondering if it was all just for show.
I'm glad to see that, because if I hadn't saw that, I would be worried that this fight may not even be for real.
And now, in a shocking admission, Tyson himself revealed that the fight was staged, adding that he was even almost dying before fight night.
About, your friend Mike Tyson tweeted that he almost died over the summer. He said, he had a bunch of blood transfusions, just had to fight to get healthy, and then his performance yesterday against Jake Paul. Just your thoughts on what we saw.
Mike Tyson was right, and I was wrong.
In a live session, Mike Tyson went on to talk about some interesting details about his health, why he took the fight, and what's next for him. But perhaps the most interesting part of it all was why he took the fight with Jake Paul. "I was broke," Tyson confessed during the live interview, finally admitting that the fight was scripted.
No, I'm just fighting to take care of my bills, basically. I don't have the stomach for this kind of no more. I'm more conscious of my children and those guys looking at my appearance. I don't have that ferocity. I'm not an animal anymore.
Does that mean we won't see you fight again?
Yeah.
But this doesn't even come as a surprise to us. Before Tyson even stepped into the ring, we all noticed something was off. The iconic heavyweight champ had a sad, almost defeated look on his face as he made his way to the ring at AT&T Stadium. It seemed like he was just going through the motions, and now we might know why. After the fight happened, everyone all over the sport started debating whether it was all just a cash grab. But can we really blame him? Let's look at the facts here. Tyson's net worth is estimated to be around $10 million, which might sound like a lot, but it's a far cry from the hundreds of millions he once had at the peak of his career. The fight against Jake Paul reportedly earned him a massive $20 million payday. That's twice his current net worth in one night.
Because the crowd got turned up, but it didn't actually.
For someone who's been through financial ups and downs, this fight was a chance for Tyson to secure a good future for himself and his family. As for Jake Paul, he was pretty upfront about his payday. In the lead up to the fight, Paul bragged about making $40 million just for stepping into the ring with Tyson. "I'm here to make $40 million and knock out a legend," Paul said confidently during a press conference. And while he didn't manage to knock Tyson out, he did walk away with a huge payday.
First and foremost, Mike Tyson, it's such an honor. Let's give it up for Mike, bro. He's a legend. He's the greatest to ever do it.
However, in another confession, Mike Tyson ended up admitting that even he himself was not in the best condition to get in the ring, even if they made it look like it. In another statement since the fight, Tyson disclosed a life-threatening medical episode that nearly cost him his life just months before stepping into the ring. "I almost died in June," Tyson admitted on social media, revealing that he had undergone 8 blood transfusions after losing half his blood. "I lost 25 pounds in the hospital. I had to fight to get healthy, so I won." Tyson shared that he went through an intense battle just to recover in time to face Paul. "This is one of those situations where you lost but still won," he said. For Tyson, just surviving to step into the ring again, let alone lasting all 8 rounds against a fighter nearly half his age, was a victory in itself. Despite losing the fight by unanimous decision, Tyson was proud to show his kids that he could still go toe-to-toe with a younger opponent in front of a packed Dallas Cowboy Stadium. The medical emergency Tyson referred to wasn't entirely unknown to the public, but the extent of it wasn't clear until now. Earlier reports indicated Tyson had a severe medical episode on a flight due to complications from an ulcer, which led to an emergency landing. Tyson had shared some details about his condition, mentioning he was passing a tar-like substance and experiencing extreme discomfort, but the boxing legend had never fully explained just how serious the situation was. For fans who watched the fight, it was evident that Tyson's usual explosive power and speed were missing.
Family's everything, but my kids, to my children, I'm nobody. But that night they're gonna find out their father's very special.
His balance seemed off, and he struggled to keep up with Paul, who used his age advantage to outwork the former heavyweight champion. Many had speculated that age was catching up with Tyson, but knowing now that he was recovering from a near-death experience puts the fight into a different perspective. It's sad to think that Tyson, who has overcome so much in his career, had to push through such a serious health challenge just to step into the ring one last time. At 58, with a body already worn down from years of battles in the ring, losing that much blood and undergoing multiple transfusions would take a toll on anyone. The fact that he even made it to fight night is a testament to his warrior spirit.
I think I can handle this situation.
You gonna knock him out?
I think I'm gonna hurt him, yeah.
Tyson's revelation has not only shocked the boxing world, but also earned him a new wave of respect. Many fans have taken to social media to express their support and admiration for the former champion. "Mike, you're a real-life fighter, not just in the ring," one fan wrote. "You went through hell just to entertain us one last time. We salute you." Even Jake Paul showed respect after learning about Tyson's condition. "I had no idea Mike was going through all that," Paul said in a post-fight interview. "I just want to say that it was an honor to share the ring with one of the greatest of all time. He's a true legend."
Family's everything, but my kids, to my children, I'm nobody. But that night they're gonna find out their father's very special.
Tyson may have lost the fight on paper, but in the eyes of his fans, he won something much bigger: their respect and admiration. At a time when most people his age are thinking of retirement, Tyson once again proved why he's one of the toughest fighters to ever step into the ring. And it's maybe conditions like these that didn't surprise most of the other boxing legends. Roy Jones Jr., who was on commentary for the fight, wasn't surprised by the outcome. Jones hinted that Tyson's age and shaky legs were noticeable from the start. He even suggested that Jake Paul might be looking for bigger names to fight next, like Canelo Alvarez. Jake Paul continues to go on. He'll see who he can find to make the most interesting fight with next, Jones said, hinting that Jake might be ready to take on even bigger challenges in the boxing world.
What did you think of the fight?
It wasn't a good one.
But not everyone was thrilled with how the fight turned out. Boxing legend Buster Douglas, who famously knocked out Tyson back in 1990, wasn't impressed either. He criticized the fight and expressed disappointment with the state of modern boxing. Douglas hinted that today's fighters might be more interested in making money than in the sport itself. Despite all the criticism, it's hard to ignore that the fight was a smart move for Tyson. Yes, it might have been scripted, but it allowed him to earn a life-changing amount of money in just one night. Tyson's legacy in boxing is already set in stone. He's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, and no one can take that away from him. If this fight helps him and his family live more comfortably, then maybe we should be happy for him.
What up, y'all? Hey, we saw what happened tonight. Mike came out, gave it all he had. His legs, you can tell, weren't with him tonight, so it was a little bit difficult. But thank God Jake didn't knock him out, because I would have felt bad for Jake, because Andre Ward was definitely going to go after Jake if he did knock Tyson out. So thank God he didn't. Thank God everybody ended up healthy, happy. Now I ain't got to worry about Andre coming out of retirement no time soon.
But perhaps the most annoying part of all this is Jake Paul's words after the fight, especially where he claimed that he didn't want to knock out the legendary Tyson. After the match, Jake Paul surprisingly apologized for not delivering on his promise to knock out the legendary Mike Tyson. Despite winning by unanimous decision in Dallas, many were expecting Paul to end the fight with a knockout, especially after all his pre-fight trash talk. But instead he eased off in the later rounds, leaving fans wondering if he was just showing respect to Tyson or if there was something more going on behind the scenes.
Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract.
No problem. Saturday, July 20th. See you there, buddy.
Paul himself admitted he held back, saying, "I'm sorry I didn't knock him out. I saw he was getting tired, and I didn't want to hurt him too much. I wanted everyone to have a great experience, but at some point my aggression just faded. I love Mike." In a show of respect, Paul even bowed to Tyson as the final moments ticked down, accepting his win on points rather than pushing for a knockout. But if we're being honest again, this is probably not the image he was trying to paint. It could be that he bowed to be thankful for the cash the fight brought.
They're not making this for me. Look how many people turned up. Look how many people tuned in. So I can't knock it. It's just not for me. And that's not disrespectful. I love boxing. I don't want to see Mike Tyson stuck in quicksand. And he showed unbelievable heart.
And Jake Paul's apology didn't sit well with everyone, though. Some critics believe that the whole fight was just a scripted event, designed more for entertainment than genuine competition. Tyson had several clear openings where he could have landed a knockout punch, but he didn't take them. Was this out of respect for the younger fighter, or was it part of a larger plan to make the fight look competitive without either side getting seriously hurt? It's hard to say for sure, but many fans feel like they were watching a well-choreographed show rather than a real fight.
Just a quick word for you for the people at home. We want to hear from you. Can I get a quick word? Just a sec, all right? Okay, no problem.
Jake Paul, however, continues to insist that the fight was 100% real. He's been adamant that he could have knocked out Tyson if he really wanted to. But can we truly believe that? After all, Tyson is known for his power, even at his age. And yet he seemed to hold back just as much as Paul did. Both fighters ended up making a huge amount of money, with Jake reportedly taking home $40 million and Tyson earning $20 million. That's a lot of cash for what some are calling a fake fight.
Crosswalk. Mike is Mike. Mike's gonna talk the talk. He gonna have a look in his eyes, gonna make you believe, you know, I'm right there with you on that. But like, man, I hope y'all just enjoy the situation and the fight for what it was. The language wasn't, I mean, not the language, but the legs wasn't, you know, all the way there. The legs.
Even if the fight was scripted, you can't deny that Jake and Mike both secured a big payday. And honestly, that's what Jake Paul is all about. He's not here just to be a traditional boxer. He's here to make headlines, entertain fans, and rake in the money. And he's done that pretty successfully so far. With an impressive record marred by only one loss to Tommy Fury, Jake is already looking forward to what's next. He's even talking about becoming a championship fighter within the next 2 years. I think it could happen in the next 24 months, Jake said confidently after the fight. I truly believe in my skills, my power, and the cruiserweight division is open for the taking. It's clear that Jake Paul is setting his sights on bigger and better things. He's been targeting bigger names, even hinting at wanting to fight Canelo Alvarez, who might be looking for a more lucrative but less risky fight. Despite all the talk, Jake Paul's critics continue to question whether he's truly serious about becoming a real contender in the boxing world, or if he's just in it for the money and fame. But Jake has made it clear that he's in this for the long haul. Fighting in a stadium like this, it's less nerve-wracking, he said. I was cool, calm, and collected. I gauged Tyson's speed, timed him, and just outboxed him for fun. Boxing legend Evander Holyfield just added fuel to the fire, suggesting that Tyson's performance might have been affected by a leg injury. Holyfield, who's had his fair share of battles with Tyson in the past, believes that Mike's knee issues played a huge part in the loss. Tyson was seen with his knee heavily strapped during the fight, and Holyfield pointed out that this was likely a big factor that limited the former champion's movement.
I'm not even going to call out specific names, but...
How about Canelo? You said Canelo this week.
Canelo needs me, so I'm not even going to try and call him out, but he knows he wants the payday, so he knows where the money man's at.
Holyfield didn't hold back in a recent interview with Fight Club, where he shared his thoughts on Tyson's defeat. You could tell something was wrong with Tyson's leg, Holyfield said. His balance was off. He couldn't really plant his feet like he wanted to, and that's a big deal when you're trying to throw punches with power. Jake Paul is a pretty good fighter, but I don't think he would have had it that easy if Mike was at his best. Meanwhile, Jake Paul, ever the showman, has been soaking up the victory. He faced some criticism for not delivering on his promise to knock out Tyson, but Paul shrugged it off, saying he held back out of respect for the boxing legend. In his post-fight comments, Paul said, I could see that he wasn't moving right. He was slower, so I decided not to go all out. I didn't want to hurt Mike. At the end of the day, we're entertainers. We gave the fans a show, and that's what matters.
You noticed that? I just talked to his trainer, and he told me that exact thing. Yeah. His balance was off.
His balance was off.
Yeah. Wow. You know, overall, like, how do you see Jake growing from this, and who do you want to see him fight against now?
Well, you know, I'm like, he's a pretty good fighter.
However, Paul's explanation isn't convincing everyone. Critics and fans are now talking about why the fight was staged, pointing out that both fighters seemed to hold back at crucial moments. There were several points where Tyson had clear openings to land his signature knockout punches, yet he didn't take them. It's left people wondering if this fight was more of a scripted event designed to entertain rather than a real boxing match. Despite all the heat, it's clear that Tyson and Paul walked away with their bank accounts looking healthier than ever. For Mike, who's been through financial ups and downs over the years, this fight was a way to secure a good future for himself and his family.
At any point, did you start to take your foot off the gas just a little bit because you noticed he was tiring out?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a bit. You know, I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt.
And while some hardcore fans are disappointed, arguing that this fight put a dent in Tyson's legacy, others are more sympathetic. Mike has given us so much over the years, one fan tweeted. If taking this fight helps him secure his future, then let the man get his money. He's earned it. Tyson himself has stayed mostly quiet about the whole thing, but insiders suggest that he's happy with the outcome, even if it wasn't a traditional boxing victory. At this point, it's not about proving anything in the ring, a source close to Tyson said. It's about making smart financial moves. Jake Paul, on the other hand, is already looking to his next big challenge. He's been hinting at bigger fights to come, even mentioning names like Canelo Alvarez. I've got my eyes set on becoming a world champion, Paul said. This fight was just a stepping stone. I've got a plan, and it's only getting started. But let's be real. Jake Paul is as much a businessman as he is a boxer. He knows how to draw attention, sell fights, and keep his name in the headlines. Whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny that he's figured out how to make boxing work for him. And this fight with Tyson, whether real or staged, was another big win for Jake in terms of publicity and money.
Would you ever do like exhibitions like that, or like people like Jake Paul call you out, or these like other big stars? Like, is that business-wise like even worth it?
When I'm done with boxing, why not? Maybe I do it. I think it's
like when you're done like competing at the highest level, you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's good because what happened there is other people who never watch boxing or they don't know anything about boxing, they wanna watch Jake Paul because
he even took a dig at his critics, saying, "People can say whatever they want, but at the end of the day, I'm getting paid and I'm making history. I just beat one of the greatest fighters of all time. How many people can say that?" But the question remains, what does this fight mean for Tyson's legacy? Some fans are worried that this staged event will tarnish his reputation as one of the most feared boxers in history. But others argue that Tyson has nothing left to prove. "Mike's already done it all," said a former boxing analyst. At this point, he's earned the right to do whatever he wants.
Are you and Conor McGregor? Are you interested in that?
Yeah, he'll never do that though. He knows. He knows way.
One, he's under contract. And two,
he's not his own boss.
And two, he won't do it.
For Holyfield, watching his old rival struggle in the ring was bittersweet. "I hate seeing Mike like that," Holyfield said, "but I also know he's doing what he needs to do. We all have to make choices in life, and if this fight helped him out, then I'm happy for him." As for what's next, rumors are swirling about a possible rematch. Both fighters have hinted that they're open to the idea, especially if there's enough money on the table. "I think the fans want it," Paul said, "and if Mike's up for it, I'm down to do it again."
People who are out there saying we think Mike's too old for this fight. Tell them what you think about that.
If you think I'm too old for this fight, you need to come tell me in my face.
Whoa.
I love you, Mike.
Same.
Whether the fight was real or scripted, one thing's for sure, it got people talking. And in the world of boxing, sometimes that's all you need. For now, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are laughing their way to the bank, proving once again that in today's world of sports entertainment, it's all about the show. But what was your thoughts on the whole event? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates. See you in the next one.